Good morning. Welcome to 90% Knitting. This is episode 324, I think. I actually forgot to write it down. If it's wrong, I'll correct it somewhere. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's an episode. I'm Lisa, also known as FiberNymph, and today is Tuesday, October 8th, and I am coming to you at about 7 minutes after 6 a.m. Yeah, it's a little early. Hence the weird lighting because I'm in our dining room and there's not really great lighting in here because it's a vaulted ceiling. And so the light's up way high, and the light that's right over this table just made me look horrible because there was all kinds of shadows. So I have this light off. I have the big lights on over there and the kitchen light because it's a big open room. So we're going with it. This is what I've got today because I was sitting here. My husband left for work about 45, 50 minutes ago. And I was sitting here having my coffee, working on a sock, and I started having this wee panic attack. That is an extension of a larger panic attack I had last night as I was laying in bed, thinking about all of the things I need to get done in the coming weeks because we just got back from vacation. Did I mention that? We got back on Sunday. We were away for 16 days. It was a wonderful vacation. If you followed along on social media, I was posting pictures on Instagram, my at FiberNymph account on Instagram, and a lot of you I know were following along, so I hope you enjoyed the pictures. Thank you so much for your comments and everything. Our vacation, I'll probably refer to it off and on throughout the video, but we went to Canada. So we started from our home in southwestern PA. This was a motorcycle trip, so I was driving my own motorcycle and my husband was driving the sidecar camper rig that we have that he built. We left here, we went up through New England, obviously. Our route up, we went through New York, and then I don't remember if we were in Vermont at all. I feel like maybe we were for a little bit. And then New Hampshire, maybe we weren't in Vermont at all. I don't remember now. We were a lot of places. New Hampshire, then up into Maine, and then crossed over into New Brunswick, and then the majority of the vacation was spent doing the Gaspé Peninsula loop, where we ended over in Quebec City and then came down. We went over towards Montreal to come back into the United States through New York, and then we just came down through New York through the Adirondacks, which was beautiful. And actually the whole trip was beautiful, to tell you the truth. Anyway, through New York and then back into Pennsylvania. And finally home. And so we got home Sunday. And yesterday, as much as I really needed to dive into work, I had to use yesterday as a re-entry day because laundry, oh my gosh, laundry. Everything we had that we took with us was just wet or damp or some version of wet or damp because it rained a lot more than we had anticipated while we were away based on the forecasts that we had seen prior to leaving. And it was much, much colder. Oh my gosh, we actually had mornings and like overnight periods where it went below freezing, and we had frost on our motorcycle seats in the morning, and I wore so many layers of clothing to sleep in and to ride in. I've never had that many pieces of clothing on at one time, I don't think. Honestly, it was crazy. But all in all, it was a lot of fun. We saw beautiful things. The scenery in Canada and up in New England was just lovely. The foliage was beautiful. I saw whales. I saw seals. We saw a huge gannet colony. I did not see any moose. I saw a bear very up close as we were hiking on a trail back from a lighthouse one day. I saw it in the distance first, and I said to my husband, I'm like, oh, is that a dog? Does somebody have a dog on a leash up there? Because of the way it was moving, it kind of looked like that. And he's like, no, that's a bear. So we got closer. I don't have pictures of the bear. I don't have good pictures of the bear on my phone, and all the other pictures we have are on my husband's camera, which have not been downloaded yet, so I can't even really share that with you. But it was black bear. He was pretty good size bear, and he was just hanging out by the side of the road eating something. I don't know, he was berries or whatever. And it was really funny because we stood there for quite a while watching him and taking pictures, and then two couples came up from down the path where we had been, and they did not speak English. And I mean, most people from Quebec, you know, that area of Quebec speak, well, I guess maybe all of Quebec. It's a French area. They speak French. But these people weren't even speaking French. I think they were Italian. And I couldn't remember the word for bear in French. And so when they came up, I'm like cautioning them. I'm like, bear. And they're looking at me, and they apparently didn't know what bear meant. And I couldn't think of bear in French. So I went, "Rrr." And they're like, oh. And then they said bear in Italian or whatever. It was funny. This is apparently the universal sign for bear. Just do that, and somebody will know exactly what you're talking about. So we all stood there and watched the bear for quite a while and took pictures. And the one woman of one of the couples kept getting closer and closer. Like, I knew my husband was getting nervous on her behalf, and her husband was like trying to get her to come back. And she's like, oh, no, pictures, you know. And finally she stopped, and we all took the pictures. And finally my husband's like, scare him away now? Like, because we needed to be able to pass on this path, and there were people coming the other direction. And so finally he went up, and he just made a lot of noise and got a little closer. The bear kind of scampered up the hillside and just sat there and watched us. And I've got really good pictures on the other camera of this bear. But anyway, that was fun. Nature up close and personal. So anyway, that was our trip. I mean, I could go on and on, but I'm not going to, because that's not why you're here. Well, maybe it's why you're here, but I'm hoping at some point, once I get all of the pictures downloaded onto the computer and everything, I'll be able to maybe put together just a short video sharing more about the trip in general. But for right now, if you do want to see pictures of it, head over to Instagram to my Fibernymph account, and you'll see my pretty much daily rundown that I posted some pictures every day, except there was the days that we were in Quebec City, I did not post pictures. But Bill and I both got sick on this trip, thanks to the cold probably, and just being in another area, and, you know, germs that you're not used to. But I got a cold. Well, he got a cold first, then I got it from him, and then he kind of got it back. And so we both took turns just feeling really crappy. And while we were in Quebec City, I was tired. I wasn't feeling as sick, but he was really sick while we were in Quebec City. And, you know, we had all these tours lined up that we were doing, and I just know that he felt miserable during them. So anyway. Oh, and I also celebrated my birthday while we were there. Not in Quebec City. We were in, where were we? Gaspé, the town of Gaspé. That was when we were out at Forlon Provincial Park. I think it's Provincial Park, National Park, whatever. I saw whales on my birthday. Actually, I saw the bear on my birthday too. It was a big mammal day for me, turning 53. So anyway, I'm gonna just move on now into what I have of the knitting part, because honestly, like I said, been away, haven't really been here to do anything much, and I took 2 projects with me on the trip. I only worked on one, and it was a sock, and I think I mentioned this to you last time. I took one of my Halloween Spookles sock blanks with me, which here it is, and it's all rum and noodly, but this is the sock blank. And I took one of my the Halloween Bright micro skein sets, so it's the orange, purple, yellow, green, and black mini skeins, tiny mini skeins, the 10 grams. Here's the paper that goes with it. I took those with me as well, and I had wound them all up into little balls. So I basically was just randomly doing little 2 round stripes as I went through with no real rhyme or reason. I didn't have a lot of knitting time as usual on these motorcycle trips, but what time I did have, I spent on this sock. It's kind of funny, you know, I dye self-striping yarn, and yet here I am creating my own self-striping with mini skeins and weaving in a bazillion ends. And I am keeping up with the ends. I'm not letting them all go. So right now they're all wound in. So yeah, I just, you know, I know this isn't coming out very bright because the lighting in here again is sort of dim for this time of day. I apologize, but it's the best I can do today. I don't think I ever really finished that thought. I started this a few times. I don't remember where I was, but I'm recording this early in the morning at 6 a.m. because I have so much to do between now and a month from now. And I'm going to be away again a few times in there for various and sundry things. First needles up, and then that coincides with a paddling weekend that we do every year. And then I'm going to Vogue Knitting Live in Columbus, and I have a lot to get done in between all of that. And like, I'm getting like chest pressure just thinking about it. But anyway, I thought I'm going to record now because I can. And so that's why I'm doing that. But anyway, oh my gosh, I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry. And I still have a cough from my cold. So anyway, this is my sock. This is my Happentance Sock Blank, no sparkle, and the minis are in my bounce base. So anyway, once I'm done with the heel flap, I'm going to continue out the foot. I'm not going to do stripes in the foot, and then I'll do the toe in another one of the mini colors. And then when I do the second sock, I will do pretty much the same thing except change up the stripe colors because I don't necessarily need them to match. And having used a big chunk of green on here, I won't be able to do green for the heel on the second sock. So it'll be a different color, and it'll be fine. But that is the only knitting that has taken place since I talked to you last. Just because I wasn't here to do any knitting. However, yesterday morning, after Bill went to work and I had laundry going already, I did sit down at my spinning wheel, and I finished spinning the batts that I was working on before I left. And this is from the Knit Spin Farm Monthly Batt Club. This was the January shipment from this year, Crags and Fjords. So there were 6 little mini batts in this package. There was 2 light, 2 medium, and 2 dark colored ones. One in kind of a greenish family, and then one in a bluish family of each of those, you know, light, medium, and dark. So that's how they worked out. And how I ended up spinning them, I started with the light green and then went to the light blue, then the medium green, medium blue, then dark green, dark blue. So that's how they're spun on here. And I'm just going to chain ply them. So I'll end up with a gradient in the end. The batts were all different fibers. The light was a combination of a blend of Targhee, and Corriedale. The medium was Southdown and Corriedale, and then the dark was Shetland and Corriedale. I think I enjoyed spinning the Shetland Corriedale ones the best, to tell you the truth, but whatever. Yeah, so they're done, except they need to be plied, and I will get to that eventually, but that's it. That's it for the crafting. No other crafting has been done since I talked to you last. Not sure how much crafting is going to get done in the foreseeable future either, because again, lots of work to do. But we're going to move on. I want to announce, what do I want to announce? I've got winners to announce, actually. That's Your Q Cow. I have the September winner to announce, and then I also have the third quarter WIPstravaganza winner, since I ended up doing this in quarters at this point, since we don't have quite as much participation. I'll do the WIPstravaganza winner first. WIPstravaganza is an all-year, I'm sorry, I keep looking down here. I feel very scattered today. I'm out of practice, obviously, and again, I'm trying not to cough. WIPstravaganza is a long, basically, that we're doing all year. I started it in January because I was trying to finish up a whole lot of WIPs this year. And I've made a huge dent in mine. I haven't actually looked at my spreadsheet in a while to see where I'm at with that, but I invited you all along, and you guys have been participating in that. So for the third quarter, we had posts number 127 through 169. So I did a random number generator between those numbers, and it gave me number 149. So post number 149 was Rock Knit, who is Pam. So congratulations, Pam. And I'm glad you're working on your whips and getting things done. And since this is the WIPstravaganza drawing, I decided I would give you a new project as your prize. So I have 2 of my Tekushcha cow sets here. So this is the Tekushcha cow. This is a pattern I designed many years ago for a club. And I've been making these kits ever since and taking them to shows. I've discontinued them. Like, after these are gone, I'm not going to have any more because this has just been around for a long time. But it's a nice cow. You can either do it short and wide or long and narrow and then be able to double it. And it was designed to work with a gradient. So I've got 2 different gradients here. Pam, you can take your pick. You can either have the ginger tea monochromatic gradient, or you can have the party purple, which is more of a mauve-y kind of color, I guess. Purpley mauve. So when you see that you won, please let me know which kit you would like, the ginger or the purple, and send me your mailing address, and I will get that out to you. So congratulations, and thank you for WIPstravaganzaing along with us. The other drawing that I have a winner for this episode is the September winner for the That's Your Cue Cal, which is started August 1st and is running through the Friday before Rhinebeck, which is October 18th. So that's quickly coming up. That's 10 days away. Oh my gosh, I need to not think about that because that's also the day of Needles Up. And so much work to do between now and, well, the day before, because I'll be leaving that Thursday to drive up. But anyway, okay. Make the panic go away. You think I'm exaggerating, but I'm not really. I'm just going to say. Okay, so that's your cue cow. The whole idea behind that was to knit things from your queue. They had to be in your queue before the start of the knit along. Still welcome to join in, even if you haven't started yet. You've got 10 days to knit something from your queue. And all the rules and guidelines for that are in the chatter thread. It's the first post in the chatter thread on Ravelry, and then there's also a finished object thread in the Fiber Imp Dyeworks group on Rav. Okay, so for September, we had posts 316 through 427, and a random number generator chose post number 369, who was Claudia, and that is Claudia. So congratulations, Claudia. Thank you so much for knitting from your queue, and your prize is any pattern or patterns that I can gift to you from Ravelry or through Ravelry up to $10 US. So if you want to PM me on Ravelry and let me know what pattern or patterns you would like up to $10, I will be happy to gift those to you as your prize for this knit along. Hey kitty, what are you doing? Come here. Oh, look at Tippy. You haven't seen Tippy in a while. Oh, there's my baby kitty. Where's my baby kitty? You were outside, you feel cold and your paws are wet. She's still a tiny kitty. She's never going to be a big girl, but I love my Tippy. Okay, so 10% is really just our trip, which I've been talking about a bit. Again, I really hope to be able to put together kind of a video recap of our trip at some point once I'm able to get all the pictures downloaded, and I did take some video clip. I tried to do videos as I was going, through the trip. So hopefully, fingers crossed, eventually I'll get that done. It may not be for a little while though, because I don't have the time to do that right this moment. But I will tell you, I did get to go to one yarn shop while we were away, and I never get to go to yarn shops on our vacations, it seems. But it worked out that I was able to go to one, and it was in Rimouski. And it was, again, I'll very rainy day when we stopped there. The owner was lovely. Her name was Paul, and there was another woman working there. I believe her name was Lisa, conveniently enough. Oh, sorry, I just bumped the camera. They were actually getting ready for a yarn festival that was happening right in that area that weekend, and sadly I was not able to attend because we weren't going to be right in that area that weekend. But the shop is called Vie de Laine Boutique de Tricot. So I got 3 skeins of yarn. It was very hard to make a choice. I had this yarn all spread out on her table. Benoit Tricote-la by Genevieve Dumont Fournier. So this is the label. And I got 3 skeins. I got this beautiful mauve-ish pink, which it says La Cuvée de Mont. I don't know what that means. I will say I used my French like a weapon. No, I was able to carry on very short functional conversations in French. I was proud of myself. It's really cute. Most of the time I found one of 2 things happened. Either someone would, you know, like a server at a restaurant or wherever you're at, they speak to you obviously in French first. And when you reply in French, either A, they can tell by your accent that you are not a French speaker, and they just automatically switch to English for you, which is nice, but it made me feel bad because it's like I don't expect that, but it happens sometimes. Or they say something to you in French, and I respond appropriately, and then they continue in French. And even though I can probably decode that, it will take a while for me to think about it all. And that's when they realize, oh, you don't really speak French. And it was the funniest experience regarding that was at a restaurant where a guy had seated us, and you know that was easy enough to get through with my limited French. And we sat there, and then the server / bartender, she came over and she started talking. She said, you know, basic hello kind of thing in French, and I responded. And then she said something else, and I looked at her, and I was working on it, and she's like, English. She said, English. Or she grabbed our menus. That was the thing. She grabbed the menus off the table and walked away with them really fast. And I looked at Bill like, did we insult her? But at the same time, she had said something. It took me a minute to understand what she said. She says, English menus for you. So she came back with the English version of their menu, which was cute. And she was very sweet. She was a fun person to talk to. And she was one of those people, we came in contact with so many people who can switch just seamlessly back and forth between French and English. And I guess if you work with the public like that in an area where you get tourists, you kind of probably have to. But it just is still incredible to me that people can do that. But in the meantime, I was able to carry on functional, brief conversations in French, understand what they said, they understood what I said, it worked, so yay. Anyway, but I have no idea what La Cuvée de Mont means. Something of the mountain, I'm going to say. The curve of the mountain? I don't know. It's a pretty color. So I got this one, and then I got this really pretty kind of greenish gold, and it says Couler Passagére. And the third one is a very mossy green, and it is called Lichen, which that one I can say. But anyway, I thought the 3 of these, this is not my normal color palette. All of the colors of this yarn were fairly subdued compared to colors that I tend to do, you know. But I thought these looked really pretty together. These will become something at some point, probably a shawl. I am thinking I would like to do a shawl with these. But it is a 100% non-superwash BFL fingering weight. And I just thought it was beautiful. Everything is written in French on the label, so I'll have to do some decoding there, I guess, to figure that out. But I was glad I got to stop there. It was fun. And this poor bag that it was in, I had to like rebag stuff because things were just kind of flying all over the place in our camper. Okay, so anyway, that was my yarn purchase, and yeah, that was one of the fun parts of the trip. One of many, many fun parts, but it was nice to actually get to go to a yarn shop. There were two others that I had identified in Quebec City, but neither of them were close enough to anywhere that we were going to be while we were on the tour in the city that day, so I wasn't able to get to either of those. So anyway, all right, we're going to move on to a very, very limited shop news segment. I have the September monthly makes prize winners to announce, so I'll do that first. I did update the Grand Grams totals and put those up on at the top of the chatter thread in the Fabric Dye Works group. So that's there and updated through the September numbers now, so you can check and see how that is and where you are in the standings for that. As far as the monthly winners, though, I have a chatter winner and I have a finished object winner for this month. But let me show you your prize options first. All three prize options for this month are one-of-a-kind skeins, colorways, that were either test colors or, yeah, actually, no, actually all three of these were test colors now that I think about it. Two of them are self-striping, one of them is a tonal. So, the tonal is this very deep burgundy with some burnt red in it. This was actually a test skein for when I was dyeing yarn for my Soldatna. This is not the color I ended up using, but it was one of the ones that got me to the color that I ended up using. So this is on my Beguiled base, which is my sparkly DK weight base. So that's one option. Another one is a DK weight skein. It's a self-striping. I was looking at it. Is this DK or is this worsted? I'm pretty sure this is DK. It's a 4-stripe. This was a test skein for a colorway I was doing as a special order. It did not work out to be the colors I needed it to be. So, but it's a lovely skein nonetheless. So again, this is self-striping DK in some purples and grays. And lastly, this is a fingering weight self-striping, also 4 stripes, that I was playing with as a fall colorway. It didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to, so I'm not doing this for the shop, but it's still a whole lot of really fun colors, and 3 of the stripes are variegated. So anyway, it doesn't have a name because again, it's, you know, just a one-off. It was a test skein, but those are your 3 options. So if you're one of the winners, please PM me on Ravelry, let me know your top 2 prize choices, and send me your mailing information, and I will get your first available prize out to you. Okay, so for the chatter thread, we had posts 789 through 1039 in the month of September. Random number generator chose post number 975, and that was Seductive Berry, who is Maria. And Maria is also still at the top of the Grand Grams totals. So anyway, but that's not what she's getting the prize for. She's getting the prize for being one of being the chatter winner. So Maria, congratulations. Thank you for being such a wonderful participant in this program. Please let me know which of these skeins are your top 2 choices, and I will get that out to you. Okay, and then from the finished object thread, we had posts 2 through 16, and random number generator chose post number 15, and that is Amanda B, who is Amanda. So congratulations, Amanda. And again, please let me know what your top 2 prize choices are, and send me your mailing addresses. I know I have everybody's mailing addresses, but it's just so much easier if you tell it to me every time, because then I don't have to hunt for it, just so you know. Okay, so congratulations, winners of the September monthly makes. Monthly makes is continuing on through the end of the year. You can continue to participate even if you didn't participate at all earlier in the year. This is set up so that there's prizes available just for participating. 1 month would make you eligible, or all the months. However, there's so many different ways to win something in this program. So I would encourage you to join in the fun if you would like to. Not the only, but the main thing about monthly makes is everything has to be made out of Fiber and Dyeworks yarn and or fiber. So unlike the WIPstravaganza or the That's Your Cue, you can use whatever yarn or fiber you want. Okay, let's see, what else is going on? The shop. The shop. I did start putting stuff back in the shop because I had taken pretty much all the in-stock items out before I left on vacation. So last night I did put most everything back in, I believe. I have some stuff I have to go back through because I'm not sure if it's actually in stock or if it was just sitting there unpublished because it had already sold. So I need to double check that before I put some things back in the shop. But I am not going to be doing any shop updates until after Needles Up for sure, possibly not until after early November. I need to not overextend myself anymore, make any more promises to things, because I do have several large commitments that I have to meet between now and the end of the first week in November, and I am kind of panicking. I know I'll get it done. I always get things done, but it's going to be tight, and I need to focus on things that I've already got committed, and I need to get out. So that being said, I am going to be adding things to the shop that I have on hand that are not going with me to Needles Up. A lot of it's in the shop now, but I do still have more, and I'm going to be adding that stuff to the shop as I can over the next week or so. That's my goal. However, the other thing that I usually do every year is a birthday sale around the week of my birthday, and because I was out of town for my birthday this year, I did not get to do that. So I'm doing a belated birthday sale, and it involves a coupon code, so you do need to use your coupon code. And the coupon is belated20, so BELATED 20. That is the coupon code, and that will give you 20% off any in-stock items that are in the shop now. So that does not include any dye-to-order items. It doesn't include any custom order items or any reserve listing items. So if you set up a reserve listing for something, it doesn't include that. Anything else, though, anything that is actually in stock and ready to ship, that will cover. That coupon code is good now through next Tuesday, which I believe is the 15th. I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, because today's the 8th. 8 plus 7 is 15. So it'll be good through the 15th. So a whole week, you can use that coupon code, belated20, and get 20% off anything that's in stock in the shop, including sale items, things that are already on sale. That still works for those as well. So that's just my way every year of saying thank you for coming to my shop and shopping with me, and if I get to celebrate my birthday, so do you. Okay, I think that's everything I've got. The only things coming up right now, like I said, I will be at Needles Up on the 18th from noon to 6 p.m., and that's in Kingston, New York. And all that information is on my website, and I'll add it to the show notes. After that, I have no more shows this year, thankfully. I'm ready to be done for this year. I am going to be at VKL, Vogue Knitting Live, in Columbus, not as a vendor. I'm just going as a normal human being, a participant, a customer. I'm going to classes. I'm really looking forward to that. My friend Sarah's going with me, PA Knitwit. So we're going to do a little road trip out to Columbus that first weekend in November. Really looking forward to that, because I never get to go to classes when I go to events because I'm always vending. So it'll be fun to do that. I'll tell you all about that after that. That being said, I am going to be taking a break from podcasting until after all of this craziness is over. I hate to do that because I love doing this and communicating with you and sharing things with you, but I just have so much that I need to get done between now and that first bit of November that I just can't. I can't promise I'm going to get a podcast out, so I'm just purposely saying I'm not going to be podcasting again until after Rhinebeck, after Needles Up, after VKL Columbus, and then after that first week in November. So it'll probably be about the second week in November that I will be talking to you again. So it's going to be over a month. I apologize for that. I will still try to be available on social media, and I'll definitely be available like on my Fiber Nymph Dye Works Instagram account, and I will be available in the Fiber Nymph Dye Works group on Ravelry. I'm not going to have time to do a podcast and do it justice between now and then. Plus, I don't think I'm going to have a whole lot of crafting time between now and then anyway. It's just that kind of a season in life right now that I need to focus on work and some other things. So I'll see you again in November. If you need to get a hold of me, though, the best way to get a hold of me between now and then is email. Email's always the best way to get a hold of me if you need a timely response, fibernymph@gmail.com. Otherwise, take care. I hope I see you either at Needles Up or Rhinebeck. I will be at Rhinebeck on that Saturday for at least part of the day. I'm not sure how long I'll stay, but I'm planning to be there Saturday. If you're going to be in Columbus at Vogue, maybe I'll see you there. Otherwise, I'll see you in about a month when I come back and record again. And I hope everything's well with you. Take care and enjoy your fall. Bye.